London airport, a great welcome is given to the champion boxers of the New York boys' clubs. For these lads are in Britain to make boxing history, to meet the champions of the London Federation of Boys' Clubs in the first ever transatlantic amateur boys boxing match. The show is staged for charity by the Variety Club of Great Britain, whose chief barker, Mr. DJ Goodlatte, he's the president, greets the boxers. The match is made possible by the generosity of Pepsi Cola, who provided the air transport. The Royal Castle of Windsor, a highlight in a crowded week's tour of the historic and beautiful places in and around the capital. Windsor, residence of the sovereigns of England for nearly 1,000 years. Here, according to legend, sat King Arthur surrounded by his knights of the Round Table. First built by William the Conqueror, it was at Windsor that the Norman kings held their courts. The history of Windsor is the history of England. Seized by the treacherous Prince John in the 12th century, it was surrendered only after a siege. Less than 50 years later, it withstood the French invaders. In the 17th century Civil War, Parliament and the Roundheads garrisoned the castle in their fight against King Charles and his cavaliers. Before being executed, Charles spent his last Christmas as a prisoner at Windsor. Today, the castle is at its most colourful when the Queen's Guardsmen are on the march. The Duke of Edinburgh, who personally invited the New Yorkers to Windsor, chatted with them for 20 minutes. And before they leave Windsor, the boys are given a lesson in smart footwork. The Royal Exchange is one of the many landmarks the boys visit in the tradition-steeped city of London. Opposite the Bank of England, it's in the centre of the Wall Street of Britain. The New Yorkers are staying near London at the British Boys Training Centre in Buckinghamshire, where they have a camp of their own with full training facilities. From majestic St. Paul's Cathedral, the young boxers stroll along St. Paul's Churchyard, a busy shopping centre. Then to Tower Bridge, which opens for vessels to pass through on the way up the River Thames. In dress of the first Elizabethan age are the yeoman warders who look after the Tower of London. It's said that the ancient fortress was founded by Julius Caesar. The Norman walls were built nearly 900 years ago. On the block in the tower died the gallant Sir Walter Raleigh. And so to a gallant lad of the new Elizabethan age, sculptor Vasco Lazzolo's model for the Edinburgh Trophy, Leslie Steers, last year's British champion. The bronze bust is not meant to be an exact likeness of Steers. Instead, it is a tribute to the spirit of the typical boy boxer. Lazzolo recently made a bust of the Duke of Edinburgh. The Duke, who has donated the trophy, which will be presented to the winning team, is patron of the London Boys Clubs and a life member of the Variety Club. Over to London's Empress Hall. Getting ready for the weigh-in are the British boys, and when it comes to a weigh-up, both teams do it in the friendliest spirit. Aged between 16 and 18, there are 17 boys to each side. And there are two classes. Juniors aged 16 to 17 from 7 stone to 7 stone 11 pounds. Seniors 17 to 18, 8 stone to 11 stone 11 pounds. Proceeds of the match go to the London Federation of Boys Clubs and the Variety Heart Fund for poor children. With 3 more bouts to go, the Americans are in the lead, 8-6. So far, they've shown themselves the better punchers. Now for the last round of bout 15. Sheet metal worker Leslie Steers is proving he can handle tough-looking James Piper with ease. Another left and Piper's down for the second time. It's Steer's fight this, yet it was the colored boy who was tipped as favorite, for at first Piper's style was more like that of a professional. No question about the decision in that match, and it cuts the New York lead to 8 bouts to 7. For the last fight but one, it's the Londoners' captain, Terry Burke, against the coloured star of the American team, Edson Brown, who fought for the States in the Olympic Games at Helsinki. The 17-year-old London boy is game enough, but he just hasn't a chance. Not with this hard hitter from Harlem. For an 18-year-old, it's a murderous left that Brown throws across. The British captain can take it all right, but it's not doing him any good. So in steps the referee, and Brown's the winner. Last bout goes to London, but that can't stop the trophy going to New York, presented by Field Marshal Sir Claude Auchinleck to their captain, William Flamio, for a 9-8 win. And by setting up new standards of clean sportsmanship, both losers and winners helped the trophy to make this a memorable match.